everyone, and a very warm welcome to Executive Talk. This is a virtual space where executives talk. Today, we have with us a very wonderful lady that goes by the name of Padmaja Muralidhar, who we will be in discussion with to speak about a situation that is very relevant and upcoming. We know that the COVID 19 situation is very serious, and right around the world, it is also coming back for possibly the third wave and some for the second wave. But in India, I believe it has been affected very severely. And although the situation in Sri Lanka is not as severe right now, but we know that and I believe that there has been a hike here as well in the recent past. And with just yesterday, reporting the highest number of COVID 19 cases in Sri Lanka, as I believe was the same in India as well, with the number of lives lost. So, just to say that India has always been with us right throughout the times, and we wholeheartedly want you to know that our prayers are with you, and we always request the Indians, all our Indian friends and sisters and brothers, to stay strong right throughout. So, I think it's safe to say that one, to say more about yourself, it the best person to speak is ourselves. So I would like to introduce the wonderful lady Padmaja Muralidhar to please speak a few words and let the world know about you.
Ayubuvan. Good morning, everyone. As Tumindra has just told you all, my name is Padmaja, and I come from a small town in India called Mysuru. Mysuru is world famous for its Dasara festival, and I have lived here all my life. I run a small organization called A Cube Solutions. We are into training and development. We train people to get placed and to improve their competency in English, behavior, and a lot of other skills. I don't want to speak anything much about myself other than this. The only sentence I would like to say is I am a mother of a very active 14-year-old girl. So that says it all, I'm sure. So over to you, Mindra, for your questions.
Thank you so much. And I'm sure it definitely must be wonderful having the 14-year-old daughter. It's truly a blessing to have daughters, they say.
It is. So,
Padmaja, sorry.
no, no, please continue.
All right. So just before we start, before we go on to the more serious questions, I have a round of questions to break ice, or to say that, or rather, we could say that it'll almost be like a rapid round fire to
Wonderful.
you.
Start.
I have a few questions. So you need to pick which one would be the ideal according to you. So,
Okay.
Padma, organic food or fast food?
Organic.
Okay. Event jogging or cinema?
Jogging.
Really? Healthy life. Okay, so then home cooked or Uber Eats?
Home cooked.
Okay. Food as medicine or medicine as food?
Food as medicine. Food as
Absolutely.
medicine.
I was hoping you would say that. Stay indoors or stay in hospital?
Indoors. Safest place to
Absolutely.
be.
Absolutely. And especially these days.
Yes.
Yes, completely. Okay, Padmaja. So, since we know more about you as well, now let's move on to the situation that has been arising in India, the situation that we all know about. But we would like
Mhm.
to hear more about it from you. So, Padmaja, could you explain to us and tell us more about the situation in India?
Sure. See, the situation in India, people think that the government should have done a lot of things And we the first thing we do is we point fingers at people saying that they should have done this, she should have done this, he should have done this. When are we going to wake up and start understanding that we also are responsible for what is happening? See, more than a year ago, we came to know via various sources that this is a very, very infectious thing. We have to stay indoors. We have to manage social distancing. We had to do a lot of things. Yes. How many of us really followed this? If you see the graph of what has happened, it went to a peak at a certain time and then it came down. And in the month of December and January, we were like, all right, we have beaten it and we can go on. Our social visits, we can go on holidays, we can go to our religious places, we can eat out. Excuse me, it is still not over. So, why this rush and why did people rush is my question. That is the biggest question. And now it's very easy for people to put it on social media and various other mediums to say that I need help, I need this, I need that. Wake up, people. You have to help each other. How much can the government do? How much can the doctors do if I don't help as a person, if I don't help them as a citizen of this country or a person who lives and exists on the surface of this earth? When will we understand? We were told very clearly the situation is really intensified here, where people were asked to get vaccinated. 45 plus were asked to get vaccinated. And personally, since I'm 45 plus, I did get my first shot about 2 months ago. Now, I saw a lot of people after the first shot going out in on the roads and into malls and into other various places saying as though I am invincible. Just because I've gotten my first shot, it doesn't mean that I'm invincible. Sorry, wake up. And there have been a lot of cases where people haven't have gotten infected even after getting vaccinated because they haven't followed the norms to be followed. Now, recently, a few days ago, we went for our second shot. When I went for my second shot, I was stunned by the callous behavior of people. We've been asked to actually double mask ourselves. There are people who are still in public places without masks. How long can you expect the government authorities to come and tell you to wear the mask, to maintain social distancing, to say you have to pay a fine? It is something that has to come from within, Dumendra. I have to feel that I have to follow these things. Inculcating these personal discipline, this personal hygiene, and to do things the right way so that I keep myself safe, I keep my family safe is the most important thing. Yes, we hear a lot of things on media that people are leaving India, there are so many deaths, there are so many things, there is a shortage, the vaccine has been started for 18 plus people. How much can they also cater to a country which has such a huge population? The word that comes to my mind is panic, sheer panic. Have a little patience. Don't panic. I understand. There have been people in my near and dear ones also who have been infected. So there is nothing I can do as an aunt, as a mother, or as a sister, or as a wife. I have to maintain the norms, the precautions that are there. That is the biggest thing. You cannot just point fingers at people. The first thing is, I need to be prepared. I have a child at home, I have a lot of children around me. My daughter plays basketball. Sorry to bring in the personal angle here. So, basketball is a contact sport where you dribble the ball, you pass the ball to the next person, you receive it. So, it's the total contact sport. Now, you ask a child who's been so active to sit at home 24 bar 7 for the last 1 year. Please understand that as a mother, as a caregiver, I need to bring in new things to keep her busy. I also need to look at her health, physical as well as mental. These are things that need to be addressed. So, this is what I personally feel that people should start waking up. That's what I feel. Over to you, Dhumendra.
Absolutely. So, in other words, it's definitely part of our responsibility as well. And I think, as you mentioned, the increase in the number of patients could be because we are mostly careless, as you said, right?
Well, that's right.
Okay, so since you addressed the part about how the number of increase is mainly due to carelessness,
Hmm.
what are the challenges? Because you spoke to me about it before. I believe there are a lot of challenges as a mother and in the professional aspect as well. So, could
Yes.
you to us a little bit about the challenges in terms of work and in your personal life as well?
The challenges would be one, the food, personally as well as professionally. Cooking is not the challenge. To get things to cook is a challenge. Correct. So, see, we are supposed to eat a lot of citrus food. We're supposed to eat lentils. We have to eat zinc-rich food. So, if I don't go out to buy things, I have to buy things online. I have to take the help of apps. Now, recently, I ordered a few fruits online. Plantain, banana is a thing that we consume every day, correct? So now this app, it is a big app, very famous one. I don't want to take any names here. The plantains they have sent are raw. Now, how do I consume it? I have to keep it for a few days, let it ripe, and then eat. So even though I use these apps as a very educated and literate person about COVID and the infection and everything, so at the end of the day, I will have to step out if these type of things are not regulated. We have the curfew happening where the shops are open from 6 o'clock to 10 o'clock. Now it's like a festival. Before a festival, we Indians usually shop. We throng the streets and we go shop for flowers and fruits and a lot of things. So from 6 o'clock, or let's say about 6:30 onwards, until it becomes 9:30, the shops and all the other places where all these daily necessities are available are thronged, and it is full of people. Now, if this can be addressed, it would be wonderful. One is the availability of things, not only availability, the quality of things. The second, because the pandemic is there, we've had a lockdown, complete shutdown. Now, as a business person, I would have done a lot of trainings for people. I would have interacted with a lot of people. I submit my bills because I have worked. Correct. Now it's a give and take relationship. If you don't pay me, how do I pay my people? So this is the next bigger thing. People who are working in IT sector and work from home is fine, but how can I pay my domestic help? If my domestic help doesn't come home to do work, she doesn't make money. So these are things that need to be addressed. How would you address this is a big question. Yes, they have made ration available for people. They have made money available for people. They have made a lot of things. But it is not enough. Next challenge, education. As I said, my child is 14 and she's just stepped into grade 10. Grade 9 was completely online. The teachers have done a wonderful job. They have actually stepped out of their comfort zone to get into online classrooms. They have learned how to use various platforms. Not only that, they have to prepare their lesson plans and handle the sessions and all that. Now, if in 10th grade she doesn't get good marks, her whole life it'll be a question mark. Now, these are things that need to be handled. Then, one more, because the whole world is on the digital platform. We have Geo, we have Airtel, we have our government based BSNL, we have all these things offering various packages for internet usage. Now, how much of bandwidth do we get? If I buy a prepaid connection, the bandwidth would be for an hour or two in a day. But later on, it'll be difficult. My child has a class, I have to log in, my husband has to log in. So, where is this available? So, these are all things, the internet and the availability of things. These things have to be addressed. These are the challenges that we are actually facing. Over to you, Dhamendra.
Thank you very much. And absolutely, I completely agree with everything that you've said. And it's definitely a challenge for everyone, and it's affected the entire world in all different sorts of lives that people live. So,
Mm-hmm.
in your opinion, those are the do's and don'ts. You would say, is that correct?
There are a few more do's and don'ts if you look at things. You can keep your surroundings clean. You are doing some work, please work on your surroundings. Then there's a lot, as I said, there's a lot of material available on the digital platform. One is the news, the other is do's and don'ts. There are a lot of things. Now, I see a lot of people, I interact with a lot of people. So they tell me, Padmaja, there is something happened here, somebody died here, so many people died here. It's very, very depressing for me. Personally, I haven't watched news channels for a very long time. I prefer to watch OTT, I prefer to watch movies with my family. I don't prefer to watch news channels because it is depressing for me. Yes, I do get the news on my WhatsApp and on other apps, and I filter out things so that I keep myself happy. This is one do and don't which is very important. Filtering of information for your own well-being. That is very important. Keep busy, learn new things. There are a lot of new things I learned in the kitchen because we were so used to ordering out things. Now it's not possible, so I have to learn. So there are a lot of new things that I have learned. So these are the do's and don'ts in general that I would suggest for people.
Yes, that's completely true. And thank you for that. And one question that arises in my mind, because you mentioned about that the news is it brings people down, in other words.
Yes.
So I would like to ask you a question along the lines of professional challenge that will come up, because it's like you mentioned before, it's also very tough to keep the mental health of professionals these
Hmm.
days. So
Correct.
how, in your opinion, would you tackle this problem uh, as a professional?
Mental health is something that I need to take care personally for me, and if people are working with me or staying with me, both. I have to look out for myself and I have to look out for people also. See, one is, let's say, India is a country where we have practiced yoga for a very long time. Hundreds of years we have practiced yoga. Why don't you get into a small online class which helps you to be a stress buster? Plus, it is also helping you physically to maintain yourself. That is one thing. The second thing, please sleep. We tend to use our social media and other TV and other mediums that we have for a very long time. Our sleep cycle is getting disturbed. As they say, 8 hours of sleep is essential. How many of us are really sleeping and taking rest? That is another thing. The third thing that I would talk about as a stress buster would be to pick up a hobby. Hobbies. It can be painting, drawing, reading, doing a crossword, doing Sudoku, playing Scrabble. I tell a lot of my trainees to start playing Scrabble and they look at me like I'm the eighth wonder of the world. I tell them, I tell them, please start. Ma'am, I want to improve my English. I want to have good vocabulary. Please work. Ma'am, which book should I read? Why should you read books? These are simple apps that are available for these people. They say they are very, very tech savvy. Start using technology for all this also. So these are three things that I would suggest. Any physical exercise like yoga or kickboxing or any of these things that can be done indoors. Start sleeping properly and eating properly, and pick up a hobby. These are small lifestyle changes that you can, inculcate. Over to you.
Yes, absolutely. And also, just one quick question before we move on to our questions from the viewers today. I have a personal
Okay.
question, and that question is: do you, in your opinion, do you feel like the amount of work that people do as professionals when they're following the work from home concept
Hmm.
is more, and would that be affecting people more, in your opinion?
I need to understand to balance it. It's not that the work is more, it is the ability to postpone things. Let's say today we started our show at 9 a.m. Usually on normal days when we used to go to office by 8:30 our breakfast would be done. But now what would I do? Because I'm simply at home, working from home, I would say, okay, let me do something a little later. Let me get up a little later. So instead of doing that, do follow a proper timeline, time frame at home also. We are, actually gasping for time working from home because we manage to do things which are called as time wasters. That is the main thing. We are not actually doing more work, we are actually wasting time here.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is very true. I think I personally need to learn how to balance my time as well. So thank you for that wonderful advice. And now, before we conclude, we actually have a few questions from our viewers. And one of the questions that had come around was about the vaccination process in India. And
Mm-hmm.
in your opinion, they want to know more about the vaccination process in India, and will all the Indians get vaccinated? Are there any, like, criterias that are to be met, and so on? So could you please let us know a little bit about the vaccination process in India?
Yeah, sure, sure. See, initially when the vaccination was started in India, It was for people 45 plus in age and who had comorbidities, something like diabetes or hypertension or any of these comorbidities were there. These type of people were advised to get vaccinated. Then later on, we had an app where we had to go and register, and they would call us up and we would go and get vaccinated and come back. They would give us the address of the place where to get vaccinated and all these things. Next, they said anyone who is 45 plus can get vaccinated. Now it is 18 plus can get vaccinated. Yes, it'll take a little time for everyone to get vaccinated. To cater to us, to such a large population, it takes a little time. And it has to be in a phased manner. Again, the word panic will come in because our people are panicking. So the minute you know that you need to get vaccinated, please go online. Please, fill in your credentials and wait for a call or an email. And then things will, fall into place. There's no need to go and stand in a line. No. We are very relaxed about this. People need to understand about relaxing and being stress free. Yeah, yes, it'll take a little time. Maybe in another 6 months, I'm sure all of us would be vaccinated. 18 plus. But I understand for the people who are below 18, I don't think it is essential, but maybe a little later it would be essential. Yes. I'm hoping
Okay.
I have answered your question.
Yes, I think you definitely have, and I
Dominta?
think on behalf of Sri Lanka, we all hope that everyone does get vaccinated and that the situation comes down as soon as possible. But we
Go
also
to the
have
next
one
question.
we have one more
Next.
question, and that is if the Indian government has given up
Yes,
on
very.
getting out of the situation.
Mhm.
Padmaja, I'm sorry, we
Oh,
can't hear you, I believe.
no, it's not
Okay.
given up. No. Are you, this is totally not correct. Give me a minute. Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, very well.
No, the government
Sorry,
has
sorry,
not given up.
Padmaja.
We have not. The government has not given up. The citizens of India have not given up. We have not given up. No. Together, I said we have not given up. The government or the citizens have not given up.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad that no one has given up. We also have one more question again, and that
Okay.
or so I hope that no one has given up because even though uh, everyone, it like you mentioned, it is a tough time for
Yeah.
everyone. but I hope it continues the way it is, and everything comes together well and smoothly. And with that, I think we have
Yeah.
concluded with all the questions as well. Padmaja, it has been an absolute pleasure speaking to you, and we are so happy to have spoken to you and for your time that you have spent with us, speaking to us about everything and giving us your perspective and advice, your valuable advice, which I'm sure has helped every single person that is viewing this and that will continue to view this on other social platforms as well. And trust me on this when I say that all Sri Lankans are with you, are with all the Indians during this pandemic. And all our prayers are with you, and I hope we will all get together and come through this challenge with hands held together. So, and with that, we take this lesson to have learned everything. Padmaja, thank you so much once again. I hope you and your family and all your loved ones and colleagues and friends are all in safe hands. And we wish to meet you very soon and connect through all social media as well. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you. Namaste.